Quick question, do you sometimes struggle to stay on track with your projects, to finish projects, to getting things done in the studio? Then I think this video will help you out because I share a strategy to stay focused for achieving your goals in the next year, to kick off the next year in a good shape. So if you struggle to get things done in the studio, sometimes procrastinate, I do that honestly, yeah, but I came up with a framework that I want to share in this week's video so you can achieve your goals, like no matter what it is. Maybe it's finish an EP, maybe finish 2 to 3 EPs in the next year, or improving your skills, sound design, mixing, mastering, whatever it is. So I'm going to share the framework system that will help you to achieve every goal that you have in your mind. So yeah, let's jump right in. Hey friend, my name is Silvano from roughingstudio.com. I'm here to help and inspire you on a weekly basis to evolve in your producer game of Rominimal and Micro House production. Now let's talk about goals. The framework that I'm going to share with you in this video works for everyone, as I already said in the intro, right? No matter in what phase you're currently in, right? So maybe you're just starting out in the genre, or you might already finished and released a couple of tracks, EPs, or even send out tracks to your idols and get some validation, right? So this little framework system that I'm going to share with you in this video will help you to stay focused and getting things actually done, right? Here's a little spoiler, of course you still need to do the work by yourself, right? But this framework really works, so yeah, let's jump right in. Now, this framework is based on a book called The 12-Week Year, right? So the main strategy is pretty simple, right? Rather than having 1 year goals, you have actually 12-week chunks, right? So we people often think in annual goals, right? So, okay, next year I want to do this or that, or achieve this or that. The book suggests that we should work in 12-week chunks, right? So basically those are 3 months, right? And break them down into smaller chunks, into weeks. What are the weekly goals? And from the weekly goals, what are the daily goals? Pretty simple, right? So here we have 12 weeks, and we have weekly goals, and then we have daily goals. Pretty simple, right? Makes sense, because if you have smaller goals, after those 12 weeks, maybe you achieve after 12 weeks finishing an EP and release it, then you get more motivated because you see results, right? Then you start over with the next 12-week goal. So you say, okay, what's next? What's the next goal I can do? Maybe you want to become better in mixing, or you want to learn more about sound design, arrangement, whatever it is, right? So you set your next 12-week goal, broken down again into weekly tasks, right? So of course the most important thing is to write an outline and then actually taking action on it, right? But if you have an outline, then it's pretty easy. You just check in, okay, what's the task today? Okay, I simply do that. I follow my plan that I just laid out. Alright, so step number 1, create a vision. Now, a vision is not exactly the same like a goal, right? A vision is more like, okay, I have this vision to maybe releasing 2 to 3 EPs this or the next year, you know, and uploading them on Bandcamp, or maybe having the first vinyl release, or finishing 50 tracks next year, whatever it is, right? No matter what it is, it's unique to everyone because we are not all on the same progress, not all in the exact same phase on this producer journey, right? So step number 2, the goal you want to achieve in those 12 weeks, in the first 12-week chunks, right? So for example, your vision is to release 2 to 3 EPs in the next year, 2023, right? 2024, sorry. So let's say your goal is to finish 2 to 3 EPs next year. So to do so, maybe you need to finish first some tracks, right? So maybe your goal for next year is to finish, I don't know, 50 tracks. That's roughly, no, let's say 52. 1 year has 52 weeks, so let's say we finish a track a week, right? And then you can choose which tracks make it on an EP. So your first 12-week chunk goal should be to finish maybe 1 track a week. Those equal to 12 tracks, right? In this first 12-week chunk. So that's your first 12-week goal. I want to finish 12 tracks, period. That's your goal, right? That's what you want to achieve within the next 12 weeks. Now you break it further down into smaller chunks. What do you need to do to achieve that? Let's say maybe every Sunday on 8 p.m. I render. The render must be in this exact folder, right? that's your goal. At the end of the 12th week, you should have 12 tracks in there, right? Rendered. They don't have to be perfect. They just need to be done, and maybe you can still refine them a little bit later. So step number 3 is write specific measurable goals, right? So we just said, okay, we want to finish 12 tracks. That's pretty specific, right? And we also can say, okay, I want to render them on a specific time, Sunday evening, 6 o'clock, whatever. Sunday at 8 p.m. That's my deadline, right? So you work toward that, right? So in our example, if you want to release an EP or 3 to 4 EPs within the next year, we're focusing on finishing 12 tracks, 1 track a week, right? And then we have the deadline of Sunday evening, 8 o'clock, rendering out that track. Next thing is to actually create a weekly plan, right? So what do you need to do in week number 1? Right? What's the goal of week number 1? So maybe on day 1 you create one folder with weekly renders that you can render all those tracks that you finish in that specific folder, right? So you have it all nice and tidy. Now you also set the goal, okay, I want to stick 30 minutes of music production, of output, actually doing the work, you know, not searching for plugins, watching YouTube videos, actually sticking to 30-minute focused output, you know, because you know you have the deadline on Sunday, you know, you need to render that track. Gives you a little bit of pressure. Personally, I work better if I know there is a deadline. That's because I record this video now for you, because I know tomorrow I need to have this uploaded to my channel, right? But yeah, that's your goal. 30 minutes a day for the next 12 weeks. Simple, right? Can you do that? Yeah, of course. Will you have some shitty days? Yeah, of course you will have. But still, you have 12 weeks to do that, to finish 12 tracks. So you have a specific goal, you know what you need to do, and now we can even break it more down into day-by-day activity, right? So for example, maybe day 1, week 1, creating the idea, jamming out ideas. So basically you say, okay, I jam for 30 minutes at least, minimum. Then you just pop up maybe one plugin, whatever it is, and then you simply jam and hit record. And out of that jamming, maybe you cut out on day number 2 a little piece. So the goal of day number 2 is to cut out some of the good pieces and then evolve that idea, right, to something different. Day number 3, adjust the idea, evolve it to something different, so you have a little bit of different variations of that main idea. And if it's not the best idea, maybe you can do another jam, but you have to focus. You exactly know what you need to do on day 1, day 2, day 3, right? Day 4, you bang out the quick arrangement, right? Stretch out the loop over 7 minutes or whatever it is, make some little breaks here and there, and then on day 5 you're adding breaks, effects, build-ups, maybe you need to adjust some things. Day number 6 you automate some volume stuff, some I don't know, effects, whatever, and on day number 7 you go again through the whole thing and try to not overlisten that thing, right, and do some small adjustments. And I would recommend, if you follow this plan, I don't know what your goal is, but let's say your goal is to finish 12 tracks within the next 12 weeks, which is quite possible, I would say, even if you're busy, sticking to 30 minutes a day for music production, actually putting out some stuff, you know, rather than watching tutorials and whatnot. You can still watch tutorials, right, but then in another time chunk. Anyway, the important thing is you don't want to make things too perfect, you know, just need to render that shit out what you have, and then after that 12 weeks you can still adjust things if you still like the idea, right? Some tracks won't make it maybe, but still you get shit done, you know, you're far better than if you wouldn't have taken any action, right? So week number 2, you just rinse and repeat the whole process, the framework that you just created. We're pretty simple, right? So you hopefully get the idea of this 12-week framework system, right? For me, it makes really sense, and you can basically the whole idea is to take 12 weeks and then break them into smaller chunks, right? So you say week number 1, I want to achieve X, Y, and Z, and in this week number 1, day number 1, you want to achieve X, Y, and Z, and then you simply follow your plan. That's simple, right? Now, after the 12-week period is done, you hopefully are better off before those 12 weeks and got shit done. This gives you some confidence, and then you simply carve out the next chunk of 12 weeks. Maybe you want to your goal is to mix those tracks or master those tracks. Week number 1 goal is to mix track number 1. Your week 2 goal is mixing track number 2, 3, mixing track number 3, and week number 4 is mastering those tracks, and week number 5 maybe is to prove listen, adjusting some things. Week number 6 creating the artwork. Week number 7 you upload it to Bandcamp it is, and week number 9 you promote it, send it to some YouTube channels or whatnot, to some artists. Again, you break those weeks down into daily chunks, right? So after following that plan, you got your EP released. You finished 12 tracks that you maybe can even use again for another EP, right? So yeah, I hope this helps. If you need some little helpers to start a new track, then check out my free one tool preset pack, which you can download under the link below. So fuck around a little bit to get inspired by, kick off a track pretty quickly, hopefully, and yeah, simply click the button below and then you get it for free. I hope this little framework helps you out to kick off the new year in a good shape. So yeah, now it's your turn. Leave a comment in the comment section if you like, with your 12-week goal for next year starting at 1st of January. Well, it doesn't really matter when you start, but the important thing is to start. You can also do this throughout the year, right? You don't have to do this 1st of January. You can basically start anytime, right? The important thing is to lay out a framework and then follow step by step. So yeah, write your outline if you like, leave a comment in the comment section with your 12-week goal. So yeah, thanks for following. If you're following for some time, really this means a lot. Thanks for watching, thanks for spending some time this year with me. Cheers, happy new year, all the best.